Good evening, parents. Clearly, you can tell from my little setup outside of my room that I'm not here today, unfortunately. The junior high girls have a volleyball game, and I have to help coach, so I cannot be there. However, I'm going to go ahead and do my presentation this way so that you guys can kind of hear what I would have said anyway on this evening. First thing I want you to do is grab one of those questionnaires that's sitting out on the desk so that you can fill it out and I can learn a little bit more about your child. I do these kinds of things with them, but they're not always the most honest on them, and I'm sure you know them better than I do just these few weeks into the class. So if you could share some of that information with me, that would be very helpful. Ways to contact you, all that good stuff. Um, so, very first thing, just a little bit about me. This is my ninth year teaching. This is my fifth at Speedway High School, so I've been here now for this being my fifth year. I've taught sophomores, I've taught all kinds of classes, but for the last couple of years, I'm teaching the regular freshman and English 9, and then I'm teaching the pre-AP English 9. I grew up in Speedway. I still live in Speedway. I actually graduated from Speedway in 2011. I went to IUPUI, and I graduated from there with my bachelor's in secondary education in 2015. So it's been almost a decade now, which is hard to believe. So general expectations. When your kids come to class, generally the thing that I just want them to do is come to class with their materials and be prepared to give it their best. I know I've got a wide range of abilities in my classroom. So as long as your student comes and they're willing to work hard and try their best for me, that's really all that I'm asking for. I love to work with kids and help them get better. So as long as they're really willing to try with me, there's going to be very few things that we can't improve on and try to get better with this year. So what's the agenda? What are your kids going to do? If you have a child with me in English 9, we're starting this year with a short story unit. Um, that'll be essentially our main focus in quarter 1, aside from some independent reading that the kids get to pick. We'll be doing writing assessments and things like that as well. The second quarter, we're going to get into either To Kill a Mockingbird or The Hate U Give. I usually give the guys, the students, a choice and they get to vote on what they want to read. Last year we read To Kill a Mockingbird and we read some excerpts from The Hate U Give. We will then in quarter 3 do a drama unit. We'll be doing Romeo and Juliet as the focus, which students always, they groan about, it's terrible. But then they get into it and realize it's a bunch of like people sword fighting and killing each other and actually being quite stupid, and it's not really about love. And they end up having a lot of fun with it after that. And then our nonfiction unit is going to be Fast Food Nation. So when your kids come to you in quarter 4 and they're like, oh my gosh, this is how our food is made and I'm not really that excited about it anymore, that might be why. For writing, we do a lot of focused paragraph race responses. I know that's something they started at the junior high, but really the major focus there, the emphasis is getting the students to realize that they always have to have written evidence from the text to support their analysis of something, which is a huge focus of the standards in English 9. We're going to do some narrative writing in quarter 2, and we'll also be doing research and argumentation because those are also really big things that they will need later on when they get to their junior and senior year. For pre-AP 9, we also start with a short story unit. It's different short stories than we're doing in regular class and different expectations, but they do start with a short story unit as well as an independent reading unit. For quarter 2, we'll be doing The Hound of Baskervilles, which is a Sherlock Holmes novel, and I try to splice in some dystopian fiction as well that unit. We'll be doing some drama. Again, we'll be doing Romeo and Juliet. That's kind of like the core freshman English text is Romeo and Juliet. And then for our nonfiction unit, we'll be doing Born a Crime, which is a memoir from the comedian Trevor Noah, who's from South Africa, and then a memoir unit where the students get to write their own memoirs. For the writing in this class, again, we do a lot of focus narrative, or not narrative, but focus writing where we pull on evidence and explanation of that evidence. We do some research and argumentation. We also do some personal narrative and other creative writing in this class. So a lot of different writing stuff. So if you have questions about your child's performance in my class or just general concerns, you can always become an observer on their Google Classroom page. If that is something you're interested in, you can indicate it to me on that form that you're filling out. You can regularly check PowerSchool. Things are typically updated and have notes and things on there if there's concerns. And then I do email and phone call home for both very positive and very negative things. If there's something that is concerning to me about your child, I will call home. Or if there's something that's really positive that I want to share with you, I can call home for those things. I do have this thing in my freshman classes where I have mental health days. And essentially how that works is on my desk I have a couple of stuffed animals here, and when the kids walk into class, if they're having just like a really terrible day, maybe they failed a test in the previous class or a quiz, or they're having issues at home, or perhaps they just, having a quarrel with a friend and it's really making things hard for them, they can take one of those when they come into class, they put it on their desk, and that signals to me that I should not be calling on them out loud to speak. Um, and their classmates are going to leave them alone that period. I've already had some students use this year. They still have to get their work done in class, but nobody's going to interact with them. They're kind of in their own little bubble. I keep track of those. If they try to use more than 2 a year, then I start contacting you and their counselors because I'm getting concerned about some things going on with them and they've got some emotional issues that they're dealing with that I want to make sure are handled. It's a good thing to do with the freshmen because freshman year is an overwhelming experience for a lot of people. Okay, so help. You need to contact me in some way. My email is right there on the screen. Um, I do also have a work phone number that I've posted there for you guys. That one goes to my cell phone as well, so if you need to contact me, that's usually the best way to do it. And then office hours, if you want to meet with me about something, I'm generally here from like 7:10 to 8 in the morning before school, or I can do after school Mondays and Fridays until about 4:30 in my classroom, which is 2:35. I would prefer that you set an appointment. Don't just like randomly show up and expect that I'm going to be here. So you can just do that by sending me an email or a parent square message. So if you have any questions about anything, let me know. But I'm going to try to cut this off here because we only have a short amount of time. Please fill out those questionnaires and then you can just send them back to me through your student and I'll get them. Thank you very much, guys. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight.